Please like the video and hit the goddamn subscribe button. We back with another one. I thought I was done with this chick. I made a video with this chick. She went viral a couple months ago. She claims to be a model. I dubbed her the Mustache Model, and this is Mustache Model Part 2. Let's see what nonsense she's talking now.
This is how you avoid dating broke boys. Don't date broke boys, they just stress you out. Number one, when I meet a guy and he wants to ask me out on a date, I say, okay, where are you from? What do you do? I am a aerospace engineer. I go straight to Google, type in aerospace engineer salary. $200,000 a year? Great. That's in my income range for guys that I date. Now, if he comes and says that he works at McDonald's, no shade, you just don't make enough to date me, and that's okay. There's a girl out there for you. It's just not me. Number 3, check his living situation. Does he have his own place, or does he still live with his mom in his mom's basement? Very important. Another thing, does he have an actual bed, elevated off the floor so you're not breathing dust? Does he have more than one pillow? Does he have blankets? Or do you walk into his room and he has one mattress laying on the floor with one stained pillow? Ew, gross. If you can't afford to pay your own rent, how can you afford to pay my rent? No. Number 3, if he wants you to call your own Uber to the date to see him, absolute automatic no. He's a broke boy, not doing it. That is when I tell him I prefer it if you send my Uber to my place or you pick me up yourself, because I'm a lady. I deserve to be treated like a princess, and I'm not accepting anything lower.
Previously on the Do Better podcast,
I expect my date to either pick me up or Uber me to the date. That is just my standard. The first date, he was a perfect gentleman. He picked me up and everything. He calls me today for a second date. He wants to go golfing. I said, great. What time are you picking me up? He's like, well, it's out of the way to pick you up. I just recommend you Uber to me and then we can go on our date.
Okay, sounds reasonable.
And then I wasn't sure if he meant me Uber myself or him Uber me. So I hung up and I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm excited for Saturday, but just to clarify. He calls me up and he's like, can you clarify your text message? And I said, I was wondering what you meant by the Uber. Were you going to call me an Uber, or did you want me to call an Uber for myself? And he said, I recommend you call an Uber for yourself.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, well, since this is a date, I prefer you to Uber me or you can pick me up. And he's like, oh, well, I think you could just do it yourself. And my thing is, yes, I can do it myself, but you're asking me on a date. I expect to be taken care of. Pick me up or call me an Uber. The notion that it's too far or too out of the way for the date, it's an inconvenience for me because now I have to pay for part of this date. I have a problem with that. Period. Number 4, if we're out to dinner and he is arguing with the waiter about $1 upcharge on his extra cheese or whatever he got on his food, and that extra $1 just hurt his pocket so much, broke boy, leave him alone. Ain't gonna do it for you. I'm manifesting only wealthy men for my girlies who are watching this, so stay tuned for more. Bye!
I'll give her that about a dude arguing over $1 upcharge. I don't understand people who argue over such small, inconsequential amounts. It's dumb as well. And it also made a point about the single dudes living like single dudes. Guys don't need much to live. I think I heard Dave Chappelle say once, we live in a cardboard box if we could. We only got big houses and nice cars just to get women in them. And I also think this lady is trolling. The first video, she went viral. I think she might have been semi-serious. It might have even been trolling a little bit. I think she just got her full troll on now. She has the permanent 5 o'clock shadow, bitch mustache thicker than mine. Ain't nobody checking for you. And she a big girl too. Not knocking her for her size. She can do something about that. Face, not so much. She just has this ego and there's no reason for that. Modern dating has gassed up the average woman to think that she's all the way up here. But I don't buy this. This lady is 1000% cap and she just doing it for the attention. And bitch, I'm not falling for it next time. I fell for it this time. It will not be a Mustache Model Part 3. No, it will not be. Why don't you go get your beard groomed, get your mustache lined up, and headbutt a spike. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.